Hey everyone, Editor Knickknack here. Sorry for the choppy audio. I'm not even using a microphone for this. The first 15 to 18 minutes of our overly cautious hero discussion is kind of fucked, and there's not much I can do about that. So I apologize in advance for how awful this will sound. Just bear with it. It should be good after about 20 by about 18 minutes in. And yeah, I'm really sorry. Always welcome to skip ahead if it's unlistenable to you. I am really sorry.
On the Anime Club, we are starting a new treat. It's called ASMR with the Anime Club.
I hope you know there's a 50% chance you're the one editing this, Seki.
I know. I'm actually pretty sure it's 100% chance based on the flip around I'm thinking of. Oh, I'm here too.
Yeah.
And I'm special.
Unfortunately.
Special?
Yeah, I'm special.
So today we're covering the cautiously... Warren, do you know the full title?
Here, I got it. It's Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Or Kono Yusha ga Oretsue Kusei ni Shincho Sugiru.
Thank you. I knew the title was stupid.
It is really stupid.
It's really redundant, and it just begs you to get tongue-tied.
It is extremely long. I cannot deny it is stupidly long. Isn't this like one of the first of the sentence long titles that really blew up?
Well, this is one of the more infamous ones at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember back when we did Konosuba back like season 1 or season 2, right? Like
Yes.
Season 2.
Season 2, I think. Yeah.
But I distinctly remember. I think it was in season 1 because we were still recording on a little IKEA coffee table with the snowball mic out in my living room. And I remember that you sent me a video about the blue thing versus the yellow thing. Realm sent me a video about the yellow thing versus the blue thing. And I remember at the time I had seen neither of the anime, but the video was fucking hilarious. I think it was like Mother's Basement or something.
Yes, it was Mother's Basement, actually.
Yeah, I think that might have been one of the first videos I ever watched by Mother's Basement, like four or 5 years ago.
I don't know. It is a pretty good video.
Yeah, but I distinctly remember being on the little IKEA table in my living room with the snowball mic watching it.
By the way, I have thoughts on that video now that I might get a little bit loud about later. So,
oh my,
some spicy takes,
Some hot takes. Get ready for
Seki,
it.
I guess. Do we want to go around and just general thoughts here?
Summation of our thoughts.
Yes.
All right, you've got 15 seconds. I'll put a timer on.
Oh shit.
Oh wait, let me actually get a timer out because now I've said it. I can make you all freaked out by putting a timer on.
Okay, put one on, but please don't hold us to that yet.
Here, I'll do stopwatch. We'll
Okay.
practice.
So this anime actually surprised me. I expected to find it a lot trashier than it was, and it was pretty trashy at times. But there is an actual, as the season goes on, it gets actually kind of emotional, and I found it to be one of my favorite isekais now, actually.
16 seconds.
Awesome.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Born, your turn.
9 out of 10. Absolutely love this right there. There is some issues that I have with it, but god damn it, this really does scratch a itch. So yeah.
All right. 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give this a 8 out of 10, honestly, on the Mal scale for myself. It was pretty solid. I enjoyed it quite a bit, honestly, and I hadn't watched this when it started coming out, but yeah, I didn't have much to say about it, honestly. It was a pretty good show. 19. Could have probably done a little bit shorter there, but oh well.
My opinions since I watched this when it was first coming out have not overly much changed. I did not particularly like this anime. It's fucking hilarious. And I think that dichotomy really needed to be expressed, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. That's my firm opinion here, and it will definitely go down.
17 seconds.
I am really confused, but we'll get there, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Well, no, because, okay, so I watched this, maybe not exactly when it was coming out, but definitely like the season after or so. Because I remember watching this back in like late 2019, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I know that the anime aired from October to December 2019. So So I must have watched it either in December or while it was still coming out. I watched like the first like 3 episodes.
Mhm.
And I don't remember why, but I remember doing it. And at the time, I think the only thought in my head was that this isn't my thing, so I didn't finish it. It was also pre my isekai kick, so
Mhm.
that definitely has something to say about it. But I also remember thinking the yellow thing is not as bad as the blue thing,
Thank you.
Mm.
and that is a firm opinion.
Yeah. Actually, I'll cover this a little bit more later, but I will say I actively kind of felt bad for the Yellow Thing by the end of the series.
Yeah.
Yellow Thing did not deserve any of that.
No, not in the slightest.
So you have some production information for us.
Yeah. So I covered a little bit, but I guess I'll kind of go top to bottom. So this was originally a novel series that started coming out in 2016. It's ongoing. The light novels.
Ongoing in air quotes, by the way.
The light novels started coming out in 2017 and are currently ongoing. And there is a manga that was published between 2018 and 2022, but there are 6 volumes and it has ended. I'm not exactly sure why.
I can tell you why, but go ahead and finish.
Okay. So the anime series did come out in fall season of 2019, so October to December of 2019. It has 12 episodes, and it was done by Studio White Fox. Now, Studio White Fox is not one that we've had on the channel before, I don't think. I don't remember
the same
them.
Studio as ReZero?
I'm getting there. So I don't remember doing them on the channel in the time that we've been doing these little reviews of animation and quality and stuff like that. But some of the more notable animes they've done include Steins Gate, Jormungand, The Devil is a Part-Timer, Akame ga Kill, ReZero Starting Life in Another World, so yes, you are correct, Goblin Slayer, Arifureta, and those are kind of their big name animes. I have seen some of those. I'm not technically including ReZero because we watched that for the channel, but I've seen a couple of the others, and I don't mind them. But I also don't think that this was necessarily one of their better works. I don't think they really put.
I think they leaned a little bit more into the the Konosuba aspect of it, where the characters look a little bit more goofily animated than they do seriously animated.
Animation wise, they didn't have. I don't remember any instances of like really good Sakuga in here.
Yeah.
Which they do. They do that. ReZero has a couple moments of decent Sakuga.
Yeah.
I don't know animation wise. I don't know if this is a particularly strong showcase.
Yeah. This is more so meant to kind of lean into like the comedy aspect of it and have the characters be a little bit more exaggerated and just more almost like anime than like realistic or like tension building. Don't get me wrong, there were still moments of tension in this series, but I definitely think that they were going more for like the comedic, like quickly altering face shifting type aspect going for this.
I did also just do a quick overview of the director, since the director has a Wikipedia page, and the only other notable work I know that was entirely directed by him and not in a series where he did like a couple of episodes or storyboarding is Gun Gale Online. Which is interesting because I have some pretty strong opinions on Gun Gale Online.
But your opinions tend to come from the story on that one from our discussions.
Mine do, but I like the animation of Gun Gale Online. Yeah. Like I enjoy watching it. I've got story issues, but I enjoy the anime. I did not enjoy this as much technically as I did Gun Gale Online.
I can see that. Gun Gale Online has some really.
Just wondering, did you guys watch the animation of the ED at all?
I'm trying. It's been weeks. I might have, but I don't remember off the top
like
of my head.
Once.
Yeah.
Is the goddess dancing in 3D?
Yeah, it is. It's goddess dancing in 3D.
No, I did. I don't think I was particularly impressed by that.
Yeah, I know, but they still did 3D. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up. And that's kind of the funny bit because I felt like we were watching a VTuber concert.
It looked a little bit like a VTuber concert.
You guys should love that. You're all VTuber freaks.
I am not actually a big fan of VTuber concerts. I like VTuber clips. I like VTuber gaming streams. VTuber concerts, I never actually can sit through.
Yeah, honestly, like as much as I like know about VTubers, I'm also more of a clip guy, and also like maybe occasionally watching them play like a video game stream.
For as much as y'all bring up VTubers, this is very disappointing to me. I am disappointed.
This is a pretty commonly known thing in the community. VTubers, they call themselves like music. A lot of them will call, especially Hollywood, call themselves musical idols. They're not. They're comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just comedians. Yeah.
Iron Mouse is wholesome.
And only
Yes.
because I watch Iron Mouse when
Well,
CWA
Iron Mouse can be wholesome.
is doing content with Iron Mouse.
I've completely lost.
We were talking about Gun Gale Online.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sorry.
Yeah, you have problems with both these series story-wise, but both of those kind of come down to the original script from the original light
Yeah.
novel, I think.
Yeah, but I do think that the animation on Gun Gale Online was better than
Yeah.
this, which is, and I'm pretty sure it's a similar time period. Like Gun Gale Online came out in like 2020 something, I think.
No, Gun Gale Online came out while we were in high school.
Oh,
Or
so it's
like
much
right
older.
after high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's older.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, I see what you're
That's fair.
saying here, though. Nothing
Yeah.
in this anime is particularly impressive. It's standard. You're not going to be disappointed, but
Also, Nick Nack, you said you were going to elaborate on why this is not continuing.
so I like this so much. I started picking up the light novels.
Oh.
I haven't caught up, but
Mhm.
one thing I found out very quickly is that this light novel series is currently ongoing the same way that A Song of Ice and Fire is ongoing. By that, I mean it's on an undeclared hiatus and will probably never be finished.
Well, does that
Mm.
extend to the original novels, not the light novels, but this is based on novels before the light
Yes.
novels?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Light novels, I don't know if there, I don't know the differences in the adaptation, but the ones I bought definitely, and then no, this guy's just has it on full hiatus. I think the web novel this was based off of was farther ahead, but it's not done. And the manga just caught up, and it's just like, well, we can't justify keeping this around anymore.
Yep. So they just ended the run.
Huh.
So this got Game of Thrones,
Yep. This anime literally, or this series literally got Game of Thrones.
which
Okay.
sucks because I genuinely think the next arc after this one is like it like changes the entire genre, and it's really good. But
And it
it's
sucks.
never going to get adapted because the series is not ongoing.
It's
It
not.
even parallels Game of Thrones in that the light novels pretty much like the last one was released just before the anime came out.
Well,
Mm.
I can confirm that the original novel series I was talking about was in fact a self-publishing web novel
Yeah.
site that these came from, that hosts things with titles such as, and let me get all the way through this title because this is 5 lines of text. Now that I think about it, I was a magician. When I realized I was a reincarnated person after becoming an adult, I started living the life of an adventurer leisurely, going back and forth between another world and Earth, which has 21 chapters. That is so long.
I want to crow
Oh
myself
god, there's
with
a
how long that
longer
title
one.
was.
This has 6 lines of text in its
I
I'm
genuinely
sorry.
So
I'll click out of this.
I think the problem with light novel titles isn't the light novel part; it's that they're from the web novel. A lot of them come from web novels, and that's where the titles
Okay,
get extended.
okay. But all web novel titles are not like this. This is a particular problem in the isekai genre because there are plenty of web novel titles that are not this long. Plenty. And I've read a ton of them that are not this long.
You know,
Do not generalize web novels like this. I like web novels, and I don't read web novels that have 6 lines of fucking text in the title. Look at that shit.
I think the only thing.
Look at that.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but be aware that some web novels, especially as they become popular, will provide shortened names of their names. Like ReZero is ReZero Starting Life in Another World.
Yeah, but that's different because you can have a title that's like that, right? Then you can have a title that's a beautiful blonde-haired, green-eyed transfer student who calls herself my future wife appears in front of me, a high-spec loner, and for some reason from the very beginning, she is not only the most likable but also a super yandere and loves me to death. That is just an author being a fucktit.
But the other aspect of this is, and I don't remember the quote, but you guys can go find it online if you want. The author of this series, he was actually directly asked about why the light novel title was so long, and he did have a response to
Oh
it.
god, I don't want to know.
my.
Don't make your titles this long, guys. We
No.
need to go back to when titles were just Bleach, Naruto.
Then again,
One
also
Piece.
keeping in mind that Japanese text tends to come out shorter in general.
Yeah, because when you're writing
Yes.
kanji and characters.
Bleach.
Okay, but I think
D. Gray Man.
a lot of this comes down to
Hanayori Dango.
you can't look at these titles and not know what kind of series they are.
Hanakimi.
I don't know what kind of series
More
Hanakimi is off. Just
more
the title.
recent
I've read it.
more
I know
recent.
from reading it.
More-
Okay, but how about this? Let's stop putting the synopsis on the back in the title. How about that? How about you just names it like Jurassic World, right? You call it Jurassic World, you turn the book over, there's a lovely synopsis on the back. It's probably better than that 6-line title you wrote.
My curiosity here is when and why exactly did this trend start happening in light
This is actually probably due to like the title being posted, but not the description. So you just made description the title.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's the other thing. I don't know how accessible that. I don't know how often like web novels or light novels in Japan have accessible summaries on the covers.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, I do get it because basically what happens with a lot of like webtoons is you have to have like a prologue chapter that basically covers everything that would be covered in an extra long like. Either way, I don't like the. I don't
So
like
this
the
is
length
more
of the
so
title.
a problem.
No, it's stupid, and we all recognize that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So this is a problem more so with the web novel sites themselves not being able to include a description.
Maybe I'm not familiar enough to like.
No, let me take a look.
I mean, yes and
no.
no.
I'm on a fucking web novel site, and they've got the little description. It's literally no. You click more. See, you click more.
Yeah, but here's
they
the
have
thing.
This is an official web novel site. They have descriptions.
No, believe
This
me,
is fucking-
I use the same thing. Sometimes if you go into certain lists, there are something like that, or there's not. And usually those lists are either people make their own personal lists and they write their own descriptions about what they thought about this like novel series, or they don't leave a description at all. So you just have solely based off title.
I am on this fucking. The light novel title issue is. Look, I am on a Japanese website and I can literally see the descriptions. I can't read them, but I can see them. This is just people being stupid. This is just people assuming that people aren't going to read their descriptions, so they're putting the whole thing in the title.
Yeah.
That's all this is. This is idiots.
Well, I don't know if it's idiocy, if it's working. This is capitalism.
This is just capitalism. This is why we need to bring down the bourgeoisie.
I don't know about that, but I think this is market trends at force.
Vive la communism! Vive la communism!
Does that stop that, though?
In an ideal society.
There's never an ideal society. Yeah.
We're all
In a-
too crap.
Yeah.
In an ideal society. I would hope it would. But yeah, so the title is too long and we don't like it.
Yeah.
Also, I get that the whole like cautious hero, the title is the hero is overpowered but overly cautious. The cautious hero is just like a moniker for the English title.
Yeah.
I get that, but still, it's annoying. This feels like a sentence I translated in hieroglyphics the other day, which was inek pu inek, and it was it is I am. Like literally the sentence was, it is I am blank, I am mistress of the two lands.
I
think
am
it was
destroyer
Wadjet.
of worlds.
Yeah, and it was just like the amount of I ams, it is I am was unnecessary.
The amount of referring to themselves in third person wasn't necessary.
No,
Exactly.
third person. It's
No, that's first person.
no,
I
yeah.
am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is I.
Yeah.
It happened 3 times in a row.
Oh, okay.
And so it was really, it felt like this with the cautious hero. The hero is overly powerful, overly cautious. Also, I do kind of empathize with him in like a strange way because I too like to believe that if I were transplanted into another world, I would be like, let me just collect everything and know everything before I even step outside, right? Because that's how I play Skyrim.
It's not how you play D&D.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Yeah, you play as if you're the divine sword
Here's
guy.
the thing. In D&D, I am confident in my character's abilities. In Skyrim, I am incapable of operating the actual controller device, and thus I feel the need to equip myself with all things that will keep me alive for as long as possible.
This guy
Here's
is
the-
literally.
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I'm going to interject here. This guy is literally how I play Dark Souls and Elden Ring.
I will say, there's a big difference between Skyrim and D&D that says a lot more. Skyrim doesn't have permadeath unless you mod it. D&D does.
I didn't know that.
Well, if you... you have to pick the
Knick-knack,
game
you're making the assumption that I know anything about Skyrim beyond this is my character, and I'm in this village place with a forest, and I don't know where to go, so I'm just collecting things and avoiding all fights. That is I know what Skyrim is. I don't know about Skyrim. You make the assumption that I am planning based on a knowledge of like game mechanics that I do not have. For all I knew, I could permadie in Skyrim. I did not know I couldn't until you said just now.
I feel like I've seen you die before in Skyrim.
I do not remember this.
You haven't played Skyrim
I don't
in years.
remember this event.
I last played Skyrim when you gave me the Bluetooth controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was years ago. Which is funny because I have it on my PlayStation now, so like theoretically I should be able to play it. I don't because I don't have time.
Never enough time.
Also, like I did the same thing when I tried playing fucking Dark Souls, and I was just like, can I like just hop off to the side, avoid fights, and like collect things? And Realm was like, no.
No.
And then I died many, many times.
It was so funny.
It was a very ReZero moment.
I was just mauling over how badly Seki was unable to
I don't
defeat
So
the
Seki
first
got the
boss.
ReZero experience. You got the experience of a ReZero watcher.
Exactly.
Which is why I hated ReZero. Because it was awful.
I kept watching Seki get blue-balled by the Asylum Demon with a giant hammer. Bang!
I don't know, the worst part was the bridge with the dragon.
Oh, the bridge. No,
I'll be
okay,
fair
no,
here.
it wasn't
I've
the
never
bridge with
cleared
the
that
dragon.
part.
It was literally a bridge with a bunch of
I literally broke
regular
Realm.
ass enemies.
I literally broke Realm. I could
Oh.
not beat the literal first major.
I was having a mental breakdown. I
Okay,
was
Realm,
having
you've seen both
crisis.
Seki and I play Souls likes. Who's worse at it?
Oh, absolutely, Seki. Oh, absolutely.
I don't even know why you asked
asked
the question.
Oh, because I
Without
am
a shadow of a
horrifyingly bad at Souls likes too. Realm's seen me play.
I need to see Vorn play a Souls-like, though. He could
No,
still take
you
it.
did see me play with your character in
yeah.
Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I almost got bodied
I think-
by common people. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, so, yeah, because I saw the aftermath of it, because I loaded it into my character. It was nowhere I remembered.
Okay, you don't have to whisper.
Yeah, we're coming in real quietly here.
Okay.
That's fine because I boosted in the background.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, to be fair though, we are now very off track, and that's my fault. I'm sorry. But you know,
Anyways.
the moral of this story is that I am appallingly and pathetically bad when you put me in a game where I have to use a controller and I can't roll dice. That is the motto of this story. If I had to play D&D the way that I have to play this stuff, like when I start playing Baldur's Gate 3 this winter, it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 is actually just D&D.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like I'm not gonna be playing it like I play D&D. I'm gonna be playing it like I play Souls, and it's gonna be awful.
I will comment though that I know for a fact your reaction to D&D is the exact same as the main characters here because I've seen that exact thing happen.
The
where you-
porcupine,
What?
the collecting all things.
No.
What?
No, our first campaign ever where you played character, were really confident in your abilities, died, and like you then spent like the next character like doing everything in your power not to die.
You mean where I had the Dragonborn Paladin?
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, but there was a difference there because between our first character and our second character, like my first character was ridiculously underpowered. Like my first character was a drow barbarian, she had disadvantage on everything. I thought she was great. Evidently she was not. My second character had such high stats that our DM actively was trying to kill me because my stats were so high compared to all of yours that he wanted me dead. He expressed that several times outright, that he was actively trying to kill me at every encounter because he said I skewed the party in terms of what he was calculating for. That's different. I had full
I
confidence.
was talking about your second and third character.
But that is my second character, was the dragon.
Yeah.
The dragon, but that's what I mean. He literally told me that he was actively trying to kill me. So yes, I was cautious because I was being told that the game master was actively trying to kill my character in particular because I skewed his number system, which is bullshit. And it did lead to me, but like even with that character, I still charged out in front of everything and was like, I'll hold the line.
Yeah, your next character, you were trying harder.
My
not to
next
hold the
character,
line.
I only got to play in 2 games. Like literally 2 games because my character died as one of the last characters to die, and then I had a tiefling paladin for two games. She was level 2 when she died. I remember because Realm and I had a paladin at the same level at the same time, and we were both reminding each other to use smite.
Yep.
And I didn't have access to it at level 1. I only had access to it at level 2, and I only got to use it like twice.
Yep.
So technically, not a good metric. My normal D&D characters are like, let's go, I got it, I trust myself.
Yeah.
Because I have ridiculously good dice luck. Cross my finger, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Do not lose that.
Yeah, and I try to be the cautious one, but she throws me in.
I do just kind of like metaphorically pick his character up and yeet
Being
him.
fair, you're like on the complete opposite end of that spectrum.
Yeah.
You're on the spectrum of I want to make sure that I get all of my actions done, as many as I possibly can. Oh, also make sure that you do this for me because I have this specific stat roll or something or other.
Meanwhile, I'm like, Unga Boonga does 27 hit. Yay! Oh wait, was I supposed to roll extra damage? I forgot. The exact breakdown of Vorn and I's playstyle.
Everything will be fine. I am perfectly prepared.
Yeah. All I'm saying is your comparisons are a little skewed because of that first game, with that first DM being one where I was actively told he was out to get me.
Okay, but being fair here, that first DM was like the equivalent of like that was in a level 9 world.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Also,
But he did that because my stats were so high. Remember? Because I rolled 3 18s,
Yeah.
like naturally in my stats.
Right, and also because all the mobs were like scaled, like they had like
To
3
my
times
character.
and like they had like 3 times the
Which got a
XP.
bunch of us killed too.
Yeah,
Surprisingly, I lived. I should
You
have not.
too lived.
I
Fuck
lost
off.
a character.
I also
Before
lost a
I had
character
my
as well.
superpowered character, practically.
True.
You lost a character early on when I lost my Drow Barbarian. I'm talking about my beautiful Paladin Dragonborn. She was stunning, everyone. Stunning. We all miss her.
I don't remember. But was it your Drow elf or was it your Dragonborn that like
The Drow ended up Oregon Farm.
oh,
The Dragonborn lost to a literal pissing match with a Revenant.
oof.
Which should
One
not
that
have
I-
been that powerful.
One that I almost won.
Yeah.
If I had had one inspiration, I would have won that encounter.
Yeah.
Like it can't be understated that that DM was pulling like the highest level world on us.
Yeah. no,
Yeah, like I was a literal level 4 paladin. I didn't even have my double attack yet, and this man threw an overpowered revenant at us because he wanted my character dead so badly, and I almost beat that fucking revenant as a level 4 dragonborn paladin.
would have gotten so much XP for it too.
I remember having to always pull off a crazy escape plan just to get out of all the situations.
I remember your character was like one of the only ones that got away from that encounter
Yeah,
with the
because he
Revenant.
stood 600 feet away and went pew pew pew, and then ran at the first sign of bad.
In my defense, the first sign of it was not the first sign of bad. It was a sign of extremely bad. We're fucked bad. That
So
I found.
basically, when I died,
Yeah.
my death was his sign to get the fuck out of
And
Dodge.
in other defense, outside of her character, my character was also the highest damage dealing character too.
Yeah.
Mine was the most utilitarian
Well,
character.
Well, also, it's not exactly that hard to sit 600 feet in the back line and shooting Eldritch Blasts and
Yeah, but I had really good modifiers on that because
Yeah.
that's how you play Warlock is you invest everything into an Eldritch Blast. I just played it so I could snipe.
So, Cautious Hero, how did you like the experience of watching our Cautious Hero?
Oh, it was great.
So I guess, okay, we didn't really touch on the OP.
I actually really love this OP.
Yeah.
I mean, the song
It
is
was
like
fun.
an absolute banger.
It was a fucking bob.
I love seeing the characters come in and they like do their little poses.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Carnival Phantasm OP.
Yeah.
Kinda.
A little bit, you know.
The-
Just wondering, was the band who did this the same one that did the ReZero?
Yes.
opening?
Yes. It was Myth and Royd.
Myth and Royd are fantastic.
Yeah. It's a shame
So-
that they're not like the same anymore.
So you liked Seiya Ryuguin.
Yeah. Wait, say
That's the main,
Ryuguin?
main
Main
character.
main character.
I'm bringing out the character names because I'm fancy.
Wow.
On one hand, I find him very, 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 very funny. On the other hand, he's kind of a dick, and when you start taking the series more seriously, you kind of like go back and like, wait, you're just an abusive asshole.
On one hand, I find him very, very funny. On the other hand, he reminds me a little bit of how Vorn plays his D&D character, and that makes me want to strangle the ever-living life out of Vorn on a literal bi-hourly basis.
Okay, but it's like the reverse here. Like he's got your desire to strangle the party members for doing stupid shit, and he's got Vorn's tendency to like want to
Dither.
plan out things that are way over
To
complicated.
fucking dither.
So like my problem here,
Is it
It's-
the worst of two players
yes,
that you
Yeah.
have to watch?
You have to watch him struggle.
Because he does. He has to watch this, and it's horrendous.
He doesn't have the downside of being squishy.
Yeah.
Neither of us are truly squishy anymore in that campaign.
What
Be
are you
real.
talking about?
Which campaign are we talking about?
Fate.
Fate. Oh, Fate. No, neither of you guys are squishy.
Yeah.
I've had to,
Be
in
honest.
development, up the enemy's stats these days.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason why why fucking Arjuna had like 17 turns.
That was the beginning of the balance updates.
Yeah. Let's be real here. We are no longer squishy. You are just overly cautious, and I am overpowered.
No, you can take a freaking Gilgamesh hit head on. I
We are
cannot.
cautious.
No, she
hero.
can't, technically.
No, the only reason that Seki's character survived that was because it does not kill. What? It brings you down to 1 HP.
Yeah, she survived off of a chance roll.
And let's be real, he gave me that because he thought that the sheer thirst was funny.
Yeah.
No, that was actually baked into the actual effects.
Aw, so I did survive.
But the second time was because I didn't have the heart to kill you in Gouda Gouda 1. That would have been humiliating, and you would have never lived it down.
That's fair. That's very fair. So with that being said, essentially, Vorn and I make up the overly cautious hero because I am the overpowered part and he is the overly cautious part.
I mean, I almost died during the Christmas part.
It's fine.
My,
So
I'll say my favorite example of him being overcautious is when he's training with that one guy that wants to be a baker.
that's true.
Yeah.
He's just like, it's like, the guy's like, oh, wow, yeah, it'll be nice to take in some blood, have someone to train with, teach them, show them how I do. And then, like, you span over a period of time, and the guy is, like, traumatized and
Yes.
and no longer wants to fight at all.
Yeah.
Lori impression.
So we keep calling her the yellow thing, but her name's actually Restarte.
Yes.
And she's the goddess of healing, and she's the one who chooses him.
Yep.
Although she chooses him through less than honorable means.
It's a little bit of reluctance.
Well, she chose him originally for the stats, didn't she? And
Yeah.
then
Yes, and then
she saw it and was like,
and then she saw him, and she's like,
Yeah.
and then she's like,
Yeah.
neuron activated.
that might seem a little bit intense, but no, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
We've also got, as part of our cast, we've got Mash, the Dragonkin warrior, who ends up one of his baggage carriers and apprentices, and Alulu, who's one of Mash's friends,
Yep.
and then Ariadua, who's the older goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the older goddess. And then there's the big god with the big blade. That's Circeus.
Kirkaeus. Is he the one that the immortal blade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The divine blade. Yeah.
No, the one that got traumatized.
Yeah. And then technically, I just think this is funny. Ishtar is the great goddess and the leader of the pantheon.
It seems like a lot of the gods and goddesses are just like based on the the pantheon.
But the funny thing, right? So Ishtar is the head of the pantheon, right? Then Valkyrie is the goddess of destruction, and Hestiaca is the goddess of fire. So, like, that's 3 different pantheons already represented.
Yeah.
It's playing it even more fast and loose than Fate does. It's not really meant to be a representation of the pantheon, more an
Yeah.
approximation.
Yeah.
Basically, you just get, and it's essentially largely all female, with the exception of Circeus, as far as we know.
See some males around. It's just the female ones make up the main cast.
Yeah, we don't get
Yeah.
introduced to the males. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the roster we're working with here.
Yeah. I will say, I do like this more than Konosuba. That is a firm opinion of mine. I do like this better than Konosuba.
Interesting. That's an opinion to have.
I would have to go back and rewatch Konosuba to really figure that out, because he's hit 2 different things for me as to why I really like him. But I will say, in the blue thing versus yellow thing debate, I am firmly on team yellow thing, because yellow thing was not actually, like, her biggest crime was just being thirsty to a guy that's abusive.
Yeah. The blue thing.
Blue thing actually commits crimes.
1, actually commits crimes, and 2, is too stupid to save herself from said crimes.
And is also an actively horrible person.
Yes.
Yellow thing, I don't think, is an actively horrible person.
Woo, team yellow thing.
Yellow thing is just overly horny, like most goddesses from mythology.
Actually, you know who we haven't heard from? Hey, Vorn, whose team are you on? Blue thing, yellow thing.
Actually, I haven't watched that yet.
You've seen Konosuba?
Yeah.
No, but it was but
The
specifically
video.
but the video specifically.
Oh, no. It doesn't matter. Just do you prefer Aqua or Restart?
Is it even fair to compare
Yeah.
them?
Restart. Yeah.
Team Yellow
Restart
thing
did
all the way.
nothing wrong.
So I brought up that I was watching this to one of my friends. He's been on the podcast before, Bakich.
Yeah.
He feels the exact opposite way we do. He hates the yellow thing
Really?
and actively prefers the blue thing. And he says it's because the yellow thing has no personality, whereas the blue thing actually has an endearing personality.
I would not call Aqua's personality endearing.
I'm just expressing what he said to me when we were hanging out 2 weeks ago.
Seki, call Bakage right now.
Absolutely not.
No, we do not need to add on to this discussion.
I was joking. I was doing this as a bit. Just calm down.
You think Seki and I go hard back and forth every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this as a bit. Call Bakage right now and tell him I'm going to throw hands for this opinion. This is a crime.
I'm gonna be real. If the two of you were to fight, I vote on him.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, but one of you two has trained in sword fighting. The other one has not.
But I'm saying this is like
He
full
took martial arts.
This is like full
I know, but
fisticuffs.
I'd full believe in Bakage.
This is
That
full
man
fisticuffs.
runs on like spite and sadness.
All right, cool.
Well, so
Anyway.
does Vorn. That doesn't mean I think he's going to win a fight.
Anyways, I'm just saying, I'm just
Way to call Vorn out like that.
Don't
Born
worry.
fucking straight.
There won't be a fight. You'll just die in your sleep.
that's somehow actively a little concerning. I feel like Vorn is maybe the person
Excuse
I'm
me.
most afraid of in a conflict. It's because I could absolutely beat Vorn in a one-on-one, but he will poison me in my sleep.
Yeah, you don't want to be left prone, and you don't want to lose.
Vorn
Yeah.
is absolutely the kind of person who would come and assassinate you in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but back to my original point, which was that there are people who share the opposing view that the blue thing is actually better than the yellow thing.
Well, they're wrong.
They are just.
This isn't a value judgment on Konosuba versus the series, by the way. I don't really know how I compare the two, but when part of the appeal of Konosuba is that all of its cast are either completely negligent or useless or downright terrible people.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of prefer the person who's just explicitly not a horrible person.
Yeah. They're just maybe a little down bad for someone.
Yeah.
Well, so what about that storyline?
So it's really tempting to say it has no storyline, but it does kick into place at a certain point. I'd say around like the big dragon arc, because there's an arc where you go to the actual dragon village. Because Mash and Elulu,
Yeah.
yeah, those two are actually they're dragonborns from D&D. Basically, I don't remember the exact term they use, but
Also,
Dragonkin.
Dragonkin.
Yeah.
Dragon-
Also, we do know that this world that he's been like summoned into is apparently like a triple S, like super dangerous world. And to be honest, if I was summoned into a world, right, and told by a goddess that it was like triple S, super dangerous, I too would probably be like, okay, let me make sure I'm to a point where I won't die when I step outside of Starter Town.
Yeah.
Like, sure, I may not do that in D&D, but that's because I trust in D&D that I have enough tricks up my sleeve to pull me out of something, and I know that if a DM really doesn't want me to die, they'll pull some, like, DM bullshit, as opposed to, like, in a video game, I do prefer to be, like, more leveled up than I need. Like, I've done this before. Like, in some video games I play, I do prefer to be more advanced financially or, like, strength-wise in my games before I venture into, like, the harder quests. Because I'd rather just, like, pre-strengthen myself.
I will say, I think that also comes down to who your DM is, because you absolutely would do that under our first DM.
Yeah.
But under me, you know I'm actively trying to like let you experience the story of the campaign too.
I mean, yeah, so context matters, but in other video games I have played, generally I find myself more willing to bulk. I bulk up inside of like the beginner starter town and then make my way out while I'm already overpowered. Like I think, what was it? Oh God. I do the, perfect example. I do this in the One Piece game, the Treasure Cruise game on my phone. I like pre-level my characters or like level stuff up in advance and then venture out into fights.
Well, I will say, at a certain point in gacha games, that's kind of how you're supposed to play.
I know, but I did it from the very beginning in One Piece. And like I do that in the other games I play. Now stop telling me that's, stop invalidating my comment and move on.
Everything you're saying is wrong. Every word you just said is incorrect.
Well, you as a person are incorrect. Take
Well,
that.
see, but I know that.
Knick-Knack is just wrong. TM 2023.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sounds like a skill issue to me.
It really does on Knick-Knack's side. It's just a skill issue.
If you're not walking out of your starter town with a nuke, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. That is how you play games. You walk out of your starter town with enough firepower to blow up the main boss.
See, these guys have never seen me play a classic JRPG.
I really need to do that Elden Ring.
This really sounds like a you issue. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I really agree with him here.
I guess back to the anime. That dragon plot line was interesting.
Yeah.
It did try, it at least tried to present the moral dilemma of kill this person and you have the tool to actually save the world, or just, or I don't want to say just don't, but don't. Be an actually decent human being and don't do human sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you had the cautious hero kind of thought in the background, which kind of screwed with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of your first hint that he's not, like, heartlessly cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he didn't go out of he didn't take the actual sword needed to kill the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, here's the other thing. I really like power leveling fantasy, right? And I know this isn't necessarily a one-to-one, like, perfect power leveling fantasy, but I do, in my time, read quite a few power leveling fantasy novels. It's incredibly popular in Chinese and Korean manhwa and web novels, and it is one of my favorite things to read, because sometimes it's nice to just read something where you know the main character is going to win because he is, like, super overpowered or knows how to, like, accumulate power. Like, that's the point of a power leveling fantasy. And it's not for everyone, I understand that, but it is kind of nice. I mean, you're reading one. Solo Leveling is a power leveling fantasy. It is, technically.
I will restrain my unwarranted comments on Solo Leveling. It does not need to catch strays.
Sometimes I find myself looking at numbers and data on Elden Ring and or Dark Souls more than I do actually spend time playing the game, depending on the situation.
And I know Vorn's read some power leveling fantasy.
I think power leveling fantasy is, I don't know that I would say it's unique in being a series where you know the main character is going to win. Because let's be honest here, a good chunk of, like, not, like...
Okay, of course I presume that typically the main characters, but in power leveling, it's a different expression of the trope where, like, you know that if somebody comes up against him that's more powerful, the main character is just going to get more powerful or accumulate more power until they are the most powerful. It's essentially the Goku effect, but in advance, because typically in a power leveling fantasy, the character accumulates the power before the encounter, so that the encounter is then not as big a deal as it would have been. Like, he doesn't go into it like Goku, get defeated and then accumulate the power. He accumulates the power first and then goes into an encounter and defeats it.
Yeah.
I think power level, like, what I was going to say is I think power leveling fantasy is just more honest and straightforward with that.
And maybe I like that.
Did I say that was a bad thing inherently? As many strays as I could throw to Solo Leveling, I'm not saying it's a bad series.
But it was this is reminiscent of power fantasy, power leveling fantasy, especially the kind of Korean and Japanese and Chinese style. Like, it really is. And this just isn't necessarily a genre that really exists a whole lot in Western media, because it's kind of considered like...
It's kind of considered like Gary Stu, Mary...
Basically, yeah. Like, you look at Western
Mary
media
Sue.
and they're like, everything needs to be, like, complex and hidden under layers, and you have to be able to figure it out as you go.
Everything needs to be a song of ice and fire.
And that's great, but sometimes you just like it when your main character is like, oh, cool, I got this stone that gives me an assassin's powers, and now nobody can see me when I'm coming. And then immediately a chapter later is a situation where they totally need that power to be able to defeat the enemy they're defeating.
Well, I think in this series it particularly works, A, because it's treated pretty much comedically.
Yeah.
But also, B, because they do try to lure you into the opposite of a false sense of security, a false sense of paranoia.
Yeah.
And then instead of pulling the rug out underneath you and showing that the character is not safe, they pull all the rug out underneath you and show that it was never actually a problem.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a very different kind of thing. Like the villains set themselves up to look weaker than they actually are, and then they try to pull a little switcheroo on you. But turns out that the hero expected this all along.
Oh my god, it was Eisen all along. You know what the best part is? For those in our audience watching, I have yet to make them actually watch any Bleach, and yet they already know that.
So I
trope.
groan because I just edited The Detective Is Already Dead, and I made an Eisen comment in there as well.
This was Eisen's plan all along, Nick Nack. Now, whoever's editing this video, insert a gratuitous clip of Eisen saying this was my plan all along from the manga.
All according to calculations.
All according to... God, now I really wish the phrase was in Japanese to make that joke.
Wasn't he max level by the dragon then?
Yeah, he already was.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, they even just say outright he was just learning new skills. He wasn't actually leveling.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. I really can. So, like, you know what this reminds me of? I now remember. I was thinking about this when I was watching it, and I wanted to bring it up. This reminds me of Bofuri.
Yes. In some ways, it
This
does.
reminds me of Bofuri, which Nick Nack did not like.
I didn't hate it. I actually liked it. I just thought that the series wasn't... Like, it's not a perfect series. It's a fun series. I actually don't... Like, if it comes out season 2, I'm like, oh, that'll be fun.
It's already out. I put it in the hat.
I mean, if we actually end up watching it.
Oh, yeah, true.
But, like, my problem with Bofuri wasn't that the series was ever, like, teetering towards bad. It was just a little repetitive. But I think it was still fun.
But this does remind me of Bofuri.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't mean it's a one-to-one comparison. Yeah. But it does remind me a lot of Bofuri, which I can appreciate because I loved Bofuri. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, there is a plot, but there's kind of not really a plot, but there is a plot. Does that make sense?
It's weird. There's a plot, but it's more character-driven than story-driven.
Yeah. Like, there's a plot. You know what has to happen, but like
the dragon, it doesn't matter what actually happened there. What matters more is seeing the character development of the main character.
Yeah.
Seeing his bond with the party. Later, because a lot of this shit is like, oh, this just happens because...
The character does not go through the story. The story goes through the character.
Oh my.
I'm not wrong.
In Mother Russia, the character does not experience a story. The story experiences the character.
Is that not a perfect description of this?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for us. I'm gonna be real. I have like very little to say beyond what we've already said.
Do we want to do waifu wars?
Oh yeah, we need to do waifu wars.
I need to look up my waifu's name, though I do have one.
Waifu
Wars. Waifu Wars.
Who's going first? I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
The yellow thing.
You're going with restart.
I'm going restart. She's just down bad. I need someone to look at me the way the restart that looks at the main hero.
Well, that's fucking hilarious. So 1 vote for Restarte.
What's the god after the divine sword god? It started with an A. It's the god that trained him.
Hold on. Okay.
Well, that's pretty much the entire...
Ariadua?
Yeah. Her.
Yeah, you mean
This girl.
Yep.
Let me see.
Ariadua?
Oh.
Yeah. This one's Ariadua. With the A. That's Ariadua.
Oh. Okay.
Who are you thinking?
No, yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. So not Ariana.
Who is that?
Adanella.
Oh, okay.
The one that's kind of like...
Yeah.
Not like other girls at the start.
Yeah, that
Like
makes
that
sense.
archetype. So, I will say, I didn't have that pulled up just by chance. That's also my waifu. I found her to be one of the funnier side characters.
And what's her name?
Adanella?
Oh.
Like the shut-in.
Yeah.
The
Adanella.
purple-haired lady.
Yeah. Realm?
Huh?
I feel like you're next.
I already
No.
went. I
Yeah,
already
you're the only
went.
one not to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it just me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what did you say?
I said restart that or the yellow thing.
For some reason, my brain was not working.
Your
I'm
brain was
sorry.
looking for an excuse to get out of your selection.
Yeah, it really was. Mine's actually Hestiaka, the fire goddess.
I'm gonna be honest here. It took me a minute to see Hestiaka. When you turned it around, the first thing I saw were feet pics.
It's a shoe website. First of all, it's innocent. It's shoe advertisements.
Oh
Shame
my.
on you for your dirty mind over a shoe website. But yeah,
For shame,
I really
Nick.
liked Hestiaka. I thought she was fun. I'm a little bit surprised nobody chose the Immortal Sword, but or Valkyrie, but
Look, I gotta say, this series is very character driven. A lot of these characters are very, very.
Can I
likable.
say that my secondary main character is actually our main character? I kind of love him.
Can you fix him, Seki?
Yes, I can fix him.
Are you sure?
I can either make him better or make us both worse trying.
Do you really need that though?
Vorn, at this point, I need anything.
Okay.
let's not go there. It's a sad and lonely tale.
Is it? Oh, how sad.
No, we're not going there.
I was gonna play a song for you in the world's smallest violin.
It already plays through my head on a regular basis.
I don't know if we need to go fully into it, but his and Restarte's actual backstory is fucking tragic.
Oh yeah, no, it's
yeah.
awful.
And they actually they tease at it at the end, but they actually go into back to that world in what would be season 2 or the next arc of the light novel. And I'm so mad that that's never getting adapted because I was like,
It might.
it's not. The series is dead for all intents
The
and
series
purposes.
pulled a Song of Ice and Fire.
I don't know.
I mean-
George R. R. Martin says he's written 1,000 pages.
The thing is, this might be like Eminence in the Shadow, where the web novel just dies, but the light novels continue.
No, this is just all over died. It hasn't had a full release since 2016, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dead.
It's
Well-
very dead. This is
The author says he'd like to continue it. He just doesn't have time.
What's he doing?
He's doing another.
I'll check.
He's doing a VR MMO series. Seki's heard of it. I know I've heard her say it. I don't remember if she likes it or not.
Ooh, wait. Ooh, is it that one? Is it
I'm
that
not-
one?
I will
Ooh.
look. Okay, Vord saying, "Is it that one? Is it that one?" with no reference is not helpful for anyone.
He already said what it might be. It's VR. There's only been a
Full
couple
dive?
VR anime.
There's 50 of them.
Oh wait, yeah, no, you are right. There is a lot of them. Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! All right,
What do we
I'm looking
think?
up. Yeah, what did you think it was?
It's that. It's the VR one with the Archer Boy.
I do not know, but it is Full Dive, the ultimate next gen full dive RPG is even shittier than Real Life and Cautious Hero. So those are the two series he does.
Yeah, you've heard of that one.
Yeah, I've heard of Full Dive.
Yeah,
So
he's-
he basically put Cautious Hero on hiatus for this one.
Yeah. Which that was certainly a choice.
I mean, it doesn't seem like unless he really
Well,
wanted to
do
continue.
you know what the best
it.
part is? Full Drive has an anime too. It just got one recently.
From what I understand, the arc I'm reading right now in the light novel is really good, but the arc that he went on hiatus on was really dragging things out.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's just either not to his interest, it wasn't selling well, or both.
Probably both, honestly, I'd have to imagine.
Sometimes you just write yourself into a corner, or you write yourself sort of
Yeah.
to the end.
He might have just ran out of ideas when he was writing
This is
it.
the one that I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's a totally different one. Also, do
Yeah,
you
it's
know what else is a VR MMO? Beaufry, do you know what else is a VR MMO?
Sword Art Online.
Kuma 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 Bear, Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online Alternative, Alicization. I can name 10 more.
Overlord is also
I
technically
don't
one.
usually consider them as VR. 'cause,
Log
yeah.
Horizon.
Overlord as
Yeah,
well.
but
if you
that I
want to
consider
really get
more
into it.
Isekai because they're trapped there.
Still, there are a whole lot of.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of stuff, so it's not
Yeah.
unique. But yeah.
Sort of. I just didn't think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that about covers our thoughts, I think.
Do we have any other?
Seki, you said that this series, obviously, we really like the series. I know you have your problems. Do you want to go? Do you have any piece you want to say on that? I won't fight you. It's your opinion here, but Just because I don't want our tone to like dictate the conversation.
My only problem with this series is that sometimes when I'm watching it, I felt the need to curl up and hide inside of a ball because of how cringe it was. But honestly, that's just a sign of quality anime, don't you know?
See, I agree.
Like if you're watching a show and it doesn't make you just want to like viscerally take off your skin and walk away,
If you don't
are you really watching a series?
If you don't
really
have to
watching
pause an episode, at least
and just go,
and just go and just like take a break for like 5 minutes, like you're not watching quality anime.
yeah, like if you start playing this and then you hear something and then you put on your headphones because your mother is in the same house as you and has really good hearing, are you even watching an anime?
So it was the "Dear God, Mom, don't walk in on me watching this" effect.
Yes. And let me tell you, my mom has walked in on me watching a number of things.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
And none of which being actually like R-rated. Just, you know, this is not something that I would want her to see me watching. And you know, that is a form of classification all of its own in the anime world. There are many things I would not want my mother to see me watching, regardless of their rating content.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
You mean you don't want your mom walking in on the scene where Restarte's flying through the air at Mach speeds and her dress comes undone and her tits are flapping in the wind?
No, I don't. I absolutely do not. My mother does not understand the idea of watching something cringe for the cringe. My mother does not understand that, as is being shown viscerally in our watch through of the Tudors. Anyways, moving on.
Do we have any recommendations?
I'd say Beaufry for me. I mean, just sticking to like one,
Yeah.
Beaufry to me is a pretty good.
Yeah. I'm gonna give Konosuba a good recommendation on this one.
Now you have to find something unique. Knick-knack. You have 10 seconds. Go.
3-0.
Fair enough.
Born.
What we're going to be reviewing next.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, that's a great segue. So the next anime. So this was a random pull from Vorn's hat. No, from the random hat.
Random.
This was
yeah.
a random pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is full random.
Yeah, this was a full
Yeah.
random pull.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyways, but with that good segue, that leads us into the next anime that was in fact Vorn's choice in this case. Please don't go keeping track of how the polls are supposed to be drawn this season. We're not going to talk about it. So Vorn,
We are professionals.
of course we are, to the highest caliber, like
Absolutely.
Fortune 500.
We totally didn't rig the back half of season 1.
Absolutely not. So Vorn has elected to have us finish Eminence in the Shadow, which is also his recommendation if you watched Cautious Hero.
Yeah.
So we're doing a little double time in here on Eminence in the Shadow, which in season 4, yeah, in season 4, we watched the first 10 episodes of.
Yeah, Realm was not here for that.
I was not
So
here, so
Realm-
I ended up watching the full submission. for
Well, Realm
this.
has to watch 20 episodes because it's a 20 episode season.
Yeah.
Well, so with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you back here for Eminence in the Shadow Part 2 of Season 1.
Yeah, part 2 of
Although
season
it's
1.
kind of all Season 1.
It's just all season
Yeah.
1. It's
yeah.
just we split it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, try harder, everyone.